these are two ladies, and I like what they do. We're gonna watch it, and we're gonna go through it, and then there's one other lady that they invited on as a guest. I don't know why, because she is such a downer. Honestly, it's just terrible, frighteningly terrible.
Oh, say, can you see the light? What's a shouldn't have turned down those cue cards. Oh.
Welcome back to the United States of Australia. I am the Aussie guy, and it is Ladies' Day, and I can't wait to get into it because I always love talking to ladies. And first of all, a little bit of a legend in my eyes, and I say little because she's Little Lemmi. How you doing, Lemmi?
Aw, dude. Don't make me cry this early in the stream, goddammit.
Well, I'm glad I got you there. But no, thank you for joining us. You were you were the first, our first guest to help us get clipped by, I think it was My Lost Interest. And that started a little bit of momentum for our channel. And then we were also joined a week later by a couple of ladies that also helped in that momentum. Firstly, because she's higher on the screen. Jackie from Pretty Antisocial, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you for joining us. And also your partner in crime, Haley, is here as well. How you doing, Haley?
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Thank you. No, so yeah, all of you ladies started a little bit of momentum for our channel. You both got clipped when you came on our show. So we're hoping we can keep that momentum going this time. And yeah, bring your best opinions and best thoughts this week, ladies. I want more clipping going on from this
We'll
show.
do our best.
And of course, if you thought that wasn't enough estrogen, we also have Robbie the Mariner fan. How are you, brother?
Yeah, the audio's completely shot. Just give me a second.
Oh, good. Well, you have capabilities of adding yourself to the room, so you just add yourself back when you're ready.
Typical woman.
Yeah, unbelievable. Unbelievable, Robbie. He's going to be fuming and stressing backstage. It's great. It's always a good way for Robbie to start a show. Now, ladies, thank you for joining us again. Eccles jumped in straight away with a super chat. Eccles Pineapple, more Lemmi and Antisocial, less Aussie guy. All right. Well, thanks for your £2. We're good, Robbie? Oh, excellent.
Yep.
Thanks for your £2, Eccles. And yes, look, there's going to be plenty of these lovely ladies talking here today. What I want to start with, actually, you know what? Before we do anything else, we should hit this.
Aaron's boring, and April adds nothing. It's gonna be great. We're scripting this morning. Come on. It's time for Movie and the Scrimp. It's time for Movie and the Scrimp. It's gonna be mediocre as fuck. It's time for Movie and the Scrimp.
Love it.
Yes, it is. And for the first time in a while, like over the last couple of weeks, the Scrimp is back into it, you know. April's back on the scene, and look, we believe it's her running her Twitter account. Now, I'll start off by saying, I want to start with April's Twitter, first of all. I just want to discuss that a little bit. A week ago, April quote tweeted me, and I said, you know what, I'm in. This is great. She's taken the power back from the abuser, from Aaron, and she's gonna turn this shit on him, and I'm here for it. This is gonna be great. About 24 hours later, I'm sick of this bitch. This is annoying. This is boring. Nothing's happening. I'll start with you, Lemmi. What have you thought of April's Twitter action so far?
Everybody says it sounds like Nick, and I think it sounds more like Aaron. Honestly, I've said it before. I'll say it again. It sounds like she has adopted all of Aaron's bad habits and is putting them into practice. That's my opinion on April's tweets. They sound incoherent. They sound like she's trying to use big words, but she doesn't know what they mean, and she doesn't know where to use them in the sentence. So she's just tossing a word salad at us every day.
The word salad was made popular in recent times by Kamala Harris, and I think it's great. Yeah, great analysis. I think you're right. It is a lot of that. A lot of not really going anywhere, not really sure what she's saying. And there's a lot of overtly sexual stuff as well that she's been posting recently. Haley, your thoughts on that, how sexual it's gotten and what you think she's up to?
Dude, I have no idea. It's just very odd. These are things that you obviously could be saying in private. And when there's so many kids involved, that's sort of, it's just sort of tasteless. I mean, she's got the right to post whatever she wants on her Twitter feed, I guess. But yeah, it's a little all over the place between apologizing and begging Nick to come over and then the sexual stuff and even some apologizing to Aaron or wanting to. It's just all over the place. Very manic.
That's a good point you bring up, and I agree with that. There is a lot of sort of say something, kind of take it back or walk it back a little bit. And yeah, there is some stuff where she's been sort of, I guess, looking back fondly at the relationship with Aaron, and she has those moments where she tweets stuff that's, maybe a little bit more positive about Aaron. What's your thoughts on that side of things, Jackie, the back and forth she's having?
It kind of seems like more of like a stream of consciousness type thing that's going on when it comes to the Twitter. So that could be like kind of working everything out in the public space, I guess. Like instead of internalizing everything and trying to work everything out in your head, it's just kind of working out in the tweets, trying to figure herself out.
I like the stream of consciousness thought. I think you're right. Sometimes people get into this zone and they just can't stop tweeting or Facebooking, whatever their thoughts. Sometimes you do need to put how many like posts for Twitter and Facebook over the years. I could write a book on the posts that I never actually hit send on, like where you sat there and you sit there and type out a big paragraph with something you want to say, and then you read it again and go, no, let's not do that. And just delete it all and don't post it. Like, I think April needs to do a little bit of that. Dayla checking in. Thank you for the $2. Less pineapple, more Aussie. US dollars count more. I hate to break it to you, Dayla. They're not as good as the pound. Those £2 are worth more to me than I think Eccles just brought that up. $2.44 for my £2 super chat, weak ass currency dollar. Yeah. And let me tell you, it's all great for me because all of your money is worth more than mine. So getting donated in American or pounds or whatever is great for me. Anyway, let's not get all Aaron Imholte and talk about money. Robbie, you sit on the outside a little bit with this. Like, obviously you do the show here and you follow along, but you don't follow it as closely as the rest of us do. I noticed you've been reading some of April's tweets and that. Like, from an outsider, what are your sort of thoughts on what's going on?
So I haven't seen every one of her post tweets.
You couldn't possibly.
Yeah. She's her tweets have been weird enough that they'll come across my For You feed, even though I follow very few of the people that interact with her, and they come across like she's almost trying. It's such a stream of conscious. It's almost like incomplete sentences, like she's trying to do some sort of poetry. Also, did she claim she's still sober? Because it's so all over the place. It strikes me as I've had friends who have been sober and then stopped being sober, and so they became stream of conscious users on Twitter as if it was their diary, which is highly annoying. I know people that do that. I've never understood the whole let's turn X into my personal diary so everyone could see my fall from grace. Like, I don't get that, but that's kind of the vibe I get with April.
Yeah, and that kind of goes back to Lemmy's point a little bit earlier, like the Aaron traits, because that's what Aaron always seems to do on his show. He airs everything out. And that's kind of what April's learned from it all. But if
you're going to do it, at least try to make money off it. Is she getting any money from doing this?
She'll get a decent payday, surely, when she decides to speak, I'm sure, depending on who she chooses. I think this is a Lemmy fan because this person always pops up when Lemmy's on the show. Thank you for your Canadian $2, Chris. Aussie bro rules. Thank you. It's very kind.
Oh, yeah. We're fans of each other. That's Astrobot. He's the dude. He's my favorite Canadian, besides Hipstar.
Oh. I like when you immediately throw someone else in there and go, oh, fuck, no, I forgot about this person. All right, so we're going to jump to... So obviously the big thing this week was Keanu decided to expose conversations with April. And yeah, the title of the show this week is Operation Human Shield. People seem to do this for Aaron. Dummies do this for Aaron, where they give him something to hide behind and he can talk about Keanu and Gino instead of actually addressing, didn't you believe that was your internet search history? The cum eating stuff, all of that. He can throw that to the side because Keanu did something dumb. So we'll start with Aaron today. I got a lot of clips today. Got to be honest. And we're going to kick off with, so I went to his episode, I think it's Thursday, with Johnny, and he talks about a few things, but I'm going to just kick it off with, Aaron loves to talk about how he's this great broadcaster and all that, and I've entitled this one, Aaron Can't Riff. Johnny tries to actually join in, and Aaron just shits up.
Sucks up all the water, right? That's the one where you open up the tray. There's a bunch of like dirty, disgusting water in there.
Yeah,
that's it.
Although they are starting to make like dehumidifiers that pull like water out of the air for the sake of like making it drinkable.
I'll pass, thanks. I have running water. I have a Culligan.
Well, yeah, I know. It's
So Aaron brought up the humidifiers or dehumidifiers, and Johnny's like, oh, I've got a fact. I've got something that I know about it. Just immediately, I'll be fine, thanks. What about yes and, Mr. fucking broadcaster? Like, don't you want to have a conversation with Johnny? No, just immediately shit on the point. Just, I'll be fine.
Well, that is an interesting subject, man. He could have been like, oh, tell me more.
Exactly.
Yeah, that seems like I'm going to self-report. That seems like something I would do. Just accidentally shut down the entire conversation. Just be way too literal-minded about it. Like, oh, you must be recommending it for me. No, I don't need it. Yeah, that's.
Yeah. I like it from a camping perspective or whatever, where as an emergency thing, if you've got enough battery power, whatever, you can. Anyway,
that's a good point.
Well, let's see where Aaron takes it.
Things where like
I'm not that desperate. What is this, fucking Nairobi, Kenya, Johnny? Jesus Christ.
Well,
chat check.
Like a lot of people that make those like mini house in a van kind of deals would have that kind of a setup,
Yeah, van girls.
Yeah, or guys, mostly.
Bunch of homos. Those guys living in a van. All right, so look.
Wow. Would you guys, if I gave you one guess, would you have guessed he would just end up calling someone a homo?
Well, yeah, and then he already hit Kenya. I was fascinated by his sweatshirt. Looks like it's his daughter's. Like the sleeves on it are like up here. He's like it's one thing to have on April's clothes, but did you see that? Sorry, I can't help myself.
That's a good point. No, you're right. The Nairobi, Kenya thing as well. Like, and that's it. He did the chat check. Like, immediately looked at the chat. Did they like that? Did they think that was funny? He just named a random African nation. Like, well done. So next up, we're just going to keep with Aaron's humor. Entitled this one, Black People Joke.
Is it menthol?
Mentholated.
Yeah, it's mountain menthol flavor. You have too many of these, you just leave your kids. Amazing.
I didn't want to do it.
Aaron, you left your kids.
Right.
Like, he left, one of them was still in the womb when he left. I don't know, this is the great sick burn that he thinks it is at black people. But he's got more to say.
What? I did. You eat a plate of ribs and you forget about your children. If you have too many of the menthol cough, that's, you know what that is? Low-hanging fruit. That's what we call this. I love that we're doing Halloween
Low-hanging fruit was me pointing out that he left his children
today, and you're going dressed as Kevin Smith.
Yep. That's pretty, well, I wasn't intending.
See how much he enjoyed that little joke. You going as Kevin Smith. That's when Patrick Melton does the old his fake laugh. It's yeah. I think there's a little bit to go.
And
on
look,
this
he's
clip.
looking at the chat again.
Yes, chat checking again.
Did that one land?
Exactly.
To be dressed as Kevin Smith, but I did realize when I put on the jersey, I was like, oh shit, fat guy in a jersey, Kevin Smith.
Oh, by the way,
especially since it's a superhero jersey.
Yeah,
Kevin Smith.
Snigger Niggardly has he has a point to make. He says semen in the throat has late effects on the voice box. You see, it's all that cum I've been tasting.
Mm-hmm.
So he's really leaning into the cum eating thing. Like if he leaned anymore, he'd be like, yeah, he'd be laying in the cum. I think if he leaned into it anymore. Are you guys surprised? Let's start with you, Lemmy. You've listened to him for a long time, and you've said before that you certainly used to find him funny. Like, does this kind of align with his thought process on comedy? The fact that he's just leaning into the cum eating thing?
Oh yeah, his own odd. If he's done this forever, and he will smash the bit into the ground, even after it's like pink mist. That's his thing. Beating a dead horse is like putting it very lightly when it comes to Aaron Imholte. That's
yes.
One of his standards.
Well, and that'll come up later with a clip later that I have. Like that's just a couple of things I pulled just in terms of Aaron as a broadcaster. We're getting into some of the meat of him talking about the April stuff now, but a lot of filibustering is what he does. And, you know, he drags things out and he's talking and he's talking. You're like, yeah, I get the fucking point. Can you get on with what you're actually trying to say? But the point is he doesn't really want to say anything. I think with having all these ladies on and obviously particularly Robbie, the cum eating situation, let's go around the horn. You ladies, you know, you swallowers, you spitters. What's going on?
Oh, man.
No, I'm just kidding. Of course, I just wanted to make Robbie uncomfortable. That was the whole point of bringing that up. And I did. So that was all good.
Oh, I just
Sorry,
go,
Jackie.
Quick, just to kind of go on to what Lemmy was saying. That comment was so surprising that he keeps using it because the audience will play into it. And it also gave him like an hour and a half of content where he didn't have to fumble around talking about news stuff. So
that's a good point.
Another win for the toe, I guess.
That is a win for the toe. No, and look, I think I see it a lot with different people that they're leaning into it like I'm just going to talk about it as much as I can, so then I take that joke away from you. But at the same time, it's kind of we're going to make the jokes anyway. Like I don't think you get any power back from it. But I don't know. Keep bringing up the cum thing, Aaron. It's very funny. So we're going to move on now to him talking about. Getting where are we? So this is the bringing up the Keanu conversation on that, but this is a long clip and we may not get through the whole thing, but this is what I'm talking about with the filibustering.
By the way, hey Johnny, what does a liar do when he dies?
He lies still.
Boy, did we have more lies get exposed yesterday. We'll talk about that. That's
just to be clear, he doesn't talk about any lies that got exposed because no lies did get exposed. Keanu calling you doesn't make all that other stuff go away. Like it's very weird that he opens it that way. It's always got to be a win for the toe. But anyway, if I keep pausing so early, we will never get through it.
That's why people were like, "Aren't you embarrassed by the cum story?" I'm like, I think people are going to come to know in time that a story told by a liar will be a lie. And we've embraced it as a joke or whatever, because it's like, it's fucking ridiculous. So yesterday, have you heard about the scuttlebutt?
No, I avoid the scuttlebutt.
I found out about the scuttlebutt
All right, so this year, again, back to the broadcasting side of things, this bothers me so much. He never talks to Johnny about what they're doing on the show. He just sends the link in the morning. And so hear him saying, have you heard the scuttlebutt? And Johnny's like, I avoid the scuttlebutt. Well, what are you doing here then? Right? Like, can you imagine if I threw to you, Haley, and I was like, Haley, what do you think about this clip? And you're like, I avoid this stuff. Like,
Yeah. Well, he doesn't need Johnny for anything other than to, back up whatever he's saying, applaud him. He's a yes man, so it doesn't matter.
It's like an emotional support animal. Like he doesn't want to be on air by himself, but he doesn't really need Johnny either. I don't know.
He needs somebody to co-sign whatever he's saying, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's true.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, and even if they don't want to co-sign it, he's so quick to shut it down anyway. It's like, well, I'll just co-sign it. Fuck it. He'll pay me my $75.
But live on the show. See, I'm doing a show. So, like, I'm getting DMs. I'm getting all these, and I see them while I'm doing the show. As the great poet laureate Post Malone once said, they're all hat and no cattle. All snake.
Is there anything worse than quoting song lyrics but just speaking them? Like either just sing the lyrics or move on. But this gets more creepy.
No, fuck. What? They're all hat and no cattle. All belt and no buckle. All snake and no rattle. All butt and no scuttle. And we have butt and scuttle today.
Oh boy.
Which, by the way, if we do get back on the radio and you come with, that's going to be the name of the show. Butt and scuttle in the morning. Yeah. You gotta have like a radio name,
This radio fantasy that he's got.
Is he getting worse? Like we've been watching these clips for how many months now? This might be the most cringeworthy one I've seen so far. I don't understand how he says he's getting back in radio, especially after the layoffs pretty much all across the country last week. But I mean, quoting lyrics that aren't all that great to begin with, and then it's just bad. How did he have a radio show to begin with? What did he do? Was it sports? Was it tangibly about sports?
It was just your typical morning show, morning radio.
Yeah. It was ads.
I don't know.
I think it was ads.
Yeah,
he did ad reads.
Yeah, I think. Well, because he sold all his own ads, and like when you're in radio, you do like 8 minutes. Well, with Ben Maller, Robbie, like he does that 12 minutes to 15 minutes before the first break, and then and that's overnight. So in the morning, you're doing like 8 minutes at a time, if that.
Yeah, I guess.
Am I scuttle or butt?
I want to be butt.
All right.
Skip past this. This is pretty.
Fuck
boring.
you, Josh. Fuck you right in your Japanese ass.
Wait, sorry, I went a little too far.
Sure, we've got people tuning in. I want to hear about the latest butt and the latest scuttle. Oh, by the way, Johnny, enjoy us not getting to 1,000 people today.
Oh, God damn it, Mean Copium. Can't you take one morning off?
Fuck you, Josh. Fuck you right in your Japanese ass. That's what I say. You don't consider the toe, do you?
So it's always gay stuff. Like, like insulting someone, telling someone, like, I know he's doing it in a joke way, but it's still fuck you right in the ass. Like, he can't think of anything else to come up with.
I mean, this is like low grade middle school humor. It's just not creative.
I think that's where he was emotionally stunted, though. Like that's
Yeah,
what we see
yeah.
all the time from him, And it's like overkill too. It's like guilt by doing too much.
Yeah.
But that's what he always goes to.
Ever consider the toe. You take a couple hundred away from us every fucking time you go live. You're a rat fuck piece of... I'm just kidding. I like.
Well, so this is where I'm having a problem now. I'm the rat fuck piece of shit, and he's throwing that around. So like Lemmy got called a rat fuck piece of shit this week. I think he referred to Gino as recovered from being a rat fuck piece of shit. He's just throwing it around that's mine, Aaron. That's our thing together. That's me and you. Stop calling other people a rat fuck piece of shit.
As a matter of fact, I have to say, I will be listening to Meme Copium's show after our show. So juicy drama, Johnny. And it is, again, I have a rule. If the drama doesn't involve me, we'll stay away from it on the show.
Or if the drama directly involves him and he's really uncomfortable about it, they will not address it on the show.
Mm-hmm.
What I found interesting is, again, Keanu has done the Operation Human Shield. What was hilarious about the Nick Rada screenshot, we all got to talking about it, didn't we? We all like, he's had access to the Google account, blah, 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 blah. But one thing I did keep in mind the whole time is that's not evidence or proof that Nick actually has access. Aaron then sold himself out and then went running to the cops with it.
Right.
What I love about Nick's angle here, and look, I don't want the Nick Rada haters to come after me. Fuck Nick Rada. Yes, he's a shitty piece of shit. But what I love about his angle here is he is making Aaron prove that that's his search history if he wants to get Nick Rada in trouble. I think that's hilarious. Where do you guys stand? I'll start with you, Lemmy. Where do you stand on the screenshot and the theory that Nick Rada has access to his Google account? Do you think it's legit and he has had this access, or do you think he's just playing mind games?
Well, mind games, or if it's real aside, just all of that aside. Aaron's response to it was visceral and telling. And I know I have talked to enough people to, if Aaron's DMs didn't come out being like, yeah, that's my search history or whatever, or yeah, I'm gonna like press charges for him having access to my stuff and blah, blah, blah. No one with two brain cells rubbed together would have believed that that was Aaron's Google history. There's no hard facts on that screenshot. The profile picture is blurred out. There's no dates. It could have been I could have done that. You know what I mean? And been like, this is Aaron's stuff. And nobody would have believed me. No one would have believed the screenshot if Aaron would have just rolled his eyes and been like, he's playing dirty. It's retarded. Let's move on, you know? But Aaron could not fucking help himself. He's so anti, like, everybody wanting him to appear like gay or cucky, you know what I mean? That he just couldn't roll his eyes and move along.
No, he has an interesting way of tackling these things. And for the guy that always talks about people doing gay ops, like I've always said, like, isn't the gayest of gay ops running to the police?
Yeah.
But Moody stole my thunder. Unfortunately, Patrick Melton said that Moody had this same theory. I don't get on until a Sunday morning, so I didn't get the chance to really spout my theory. But I did have the same theory as Moody. When I saw the screenshot, I'm like, Nick could have easily like spoof that on his own account. Like, again, like April has told Nick, I saw on the computer that Aaron was jerking off after going to your Kiwi Farms thread. And then they recreated on Nick's. And when they scrub out the thing, you can just reveal later, it's actually got the NR or the whatever for Nick Rada. So I do think that's a good theory in the fact that it is literally just a fake to spook Aaron out, and he freaked out accordingly. Haley, what are your thoughts on that?
I think that's, could be true. The thing is, it was close enough to where Aaron freaked out. It was close enough to where it resembled at least something where he was like, oh shit. So he's a snake. He's a rat. We know that he's, on a first name basis with everybody up at the police station. So of course he's going to run and tell. But I think that was what was telling, is that it was at least close enough, even if it was fake, for him to recognize, like, damn, that might be mine. So, I mean,
No, that's the beauty of it. And I love the thought of him sitting down with a detective or whatever and showing the screenshot and explaining that this is my search history. This is what I did. I went Kiwi Farms, Pornhub, April's Twitter. I love that thought. Jackie, could you imagine the sinking feeling, knowing like the thought that someone might have had access to everything you've been searching for?
Yeah, I actually mentioned that on our show. I think it was on Wednesday. I said I kind of feel bad for Aaron because I could just imagine him sitting there and getting that oh my god feeling, like that pit in your stomach, like your whole world is about to blow up. But what's interesting though too about that first tweet that came out with the screenshot of the alleged I guess history archive is that his name wasn't mentioned in it at all.
No.
So everyone just assume, okay, you can assume, but his name wasn't mentioned at all. And then quickly, it was very quick after that came out that the DMs between Aaron and BBN came out. So you're just like, so you're ratting yourself out then. And then that's when everyone's like, okay, so then maybe it is his actual history. So he made it worse for himself. And then he's like, listen, I'm not going to talk about that. But you'll talk about, you know, Nick talking about how you tasted his, as Haley says, his herbal essence. Like, you know, which makes me think that it's even more like his MO.
No. Yeah, and I imagine there's probably much dirtier, darker stuff that's in there, or stuff that's just generally embarrassing, you know. Like
could
Patrick
you imagine him going to the police and being like, listen, I don't know if this is real or not, but I do not look at that specifically on Pornhub. I actually look at this on Pornhub.
I don't remember that one.
I don't, yeah.
I've Googled stuff for jokes, you know, like trying to Google find an image to like pop the boys in a group chat or whatever. And it's not something you really want coming up in your search history. I remember searching it. For GIFs on Twitter, and I typed in Hitler, and Twitter just said, yikes. No, you're not, we're not giving you a Hitler gift, dude. Like, calm down. So yeah, just even like silly shit like that. It's like, who wants that popping up from their search history? The lovely Sketty Tooth John is here. She's the best. She supported the show and she became a new member. First of all, thank you, Sketty.
Hey.
But secondly, she's gifted 10 memberships, which is incredible. Thank you so much, Sketty. You are the best. You've been really, really good to us. And yeah, another one of the lovely ladies, legends of the Dabbleverse. Sketty is well loved, I think, throughout many chat rooms. So that last clip that I hit, we're about halfway through it. I can't remember how it ends, but we've got so much stuff to get through. I'm dropping that one short, and I'm gonna move on to Aaron talking about when Kiki called, but just found this is a very interesting date for SP to be going on.
Game with SP. They were playing Maryland. So October 26th, take it back to October 26th. My SP is showing me April's tweets, and she's going, "Oh my God, she's lost her mind." And I'm like, "Oh, that's interesting." And we both go like, "We'll read these when we get home," you know, because we're watching the Gopher game and everything like that. So
think about that, ladies. Lemmy, Jackie, you're on a date with a guy. You bring up his ex-wife's Twitter and say, when we get home, let's scroll through your ex-wife's Twitter. Jackie, does that sound like a normal relationship to you?
No, it's weird. It's weird. Like, why would you want to scroll through your current boyfriend's ex-wife's Twitter? Like, wouldn't you? And honestly, with how much he talks about it and stuff, I would have a complex. I'd be like, oh, do I need to be more like her? I wouldn't be surprised if she dyed her hair blonde.
Yeah. Well, Lemmy, what are your thoughts on SP being a little bit damaged herself, like the taking part in all this?
I'll tell you what. I love my ex-husband's new wife. I love her to death. You know what I mean? She's part of our family. We have a very cohesive unit thing going on. Yeah. But if she were falling apart publicly, you bet your ass I'd be like, Granny.
Yeah.
She'd lose
Yeah.
her fucking mind. And if we were out on a date, we'd be like, we probably wouldn't even wait to get home. We'd be like scrolling through that bitch's Twitter at the table, waiting for our appetizer. You know what I mean?
It's fair. That's fair. I love your honesty. That is fair. That's a good point. Sorry, Husey. I think I missed Husey's super chat before. Thank you for the 2. What do you do? Euros, isn't it, Husey? You got euros? Anyway, free the Florida 2. Get your tits out, Lemmy. Come on, Husey.
How hasn't he
Husey's
been
asked for
arrested yet?
We love Husey. Husey's one of the greats.
I guess.
Great friend of the show. Great friend of the show. No, you make a good point, Lemmy. I do agree. Haley, how would you feel about it? Though?
How would I feel about her
reading the ex-wife's tweets while you're out on a date?
It's kind of weird in my opinion, but you can't really blame her. There's a lot of eyes looking for what April has to say about anything, and her coming back from, this huge hiatus and just getting internet back and then seeing that she's going nuts. I mean, how can you not look? I don't know.
True.
I think it's interesting, but I think SP is watching all of this stuff and sort of going back to Aaron and letting him know what he's missing while he's on Kiwi Farms and whatever else, playing golf or whatever he's doing. But she's keeping a close eye on things, that's for sure.
Well, we know what he's doing. He's doing Kiwi Farms, Pornhub, and then April's Twitter.
Yes.
Facts.
While wiping his fingers clean, he's scrolling April's Twitter.
During the Gopher game, my phone starts, ring-a-dinging.
Mm-hmm.
And I look down at my phone, and I'm flabbergasted. It literally. I knew it was real. I knew it was real life, but it felt like I maybe was dreaming, like I dozed off during the game or something like that.
So you felt like Dennis or David after Dennis.
I felt, is this real life?
Is this real life?
So dramatic about a phone call.
So I look at my phone. It says Keanu Thompson.
Oh, that leaves us on a cliffhanger. So Keanu called Aaron, and I do have another clip here called the Kiki call.
Comes in, and I don't answer it. Then I get a couple of text messages, and then I get another phone call. And it's Keanu, and she's saying, I'm sorry about everything that happened in the past, but I'm really worried about April, blah, 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 blah. Now, I was not worried about April. I will fully admit, entertained by the tweets, interested in it.
Funny.
Yeah, interested in it as far as a soap opera goes. A little. There's once in a while I'll read a particular tweet and I'll go, wow, this is a battered woman.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, I wonder why.
It's amazing that now that it's Nick that's got April, he's happy to throw that around. She's a battered woman. He's the one with the actual allegations against him from April. But yeah, I found it interesting that he was pretty quick to throw out the battered woman in there.
I'll be like, this is like a kept Stockholm syndrome type. I think this is textbook psychological abuse that we're seeing here on Twitter. So I don't say anything.
What do you guys think of this theory? Aaron went to an Al-Anon meeting early on and he heard some people talking and they started saying drug addicts psychologically abuse you. And he's grabbed onto that nugget and held onto it since he heard it. Haley, what are your thoughts?
I think that this stuck whenever we first started hearing about the domestic violence allegations with April. That's when I first heard him say that, almost like it was, a way to fire back at April and say, well, she psychologically abused me. You guys have no idea what she put me through. That's when I remember hearing him first say it. But I guess that was around the same time he went to Al-Anon. So it could be either one, I guess.
Yeah, it's he pops it up whenever he needs it. But again, Aaron is one of these people that sort of he latches onto certain phrases and just runs with them, doesn't actually really know what he's talking about. But I think he heard some people getting told they were being psychologically abused, and he went, yeah, I'm being psychologically abused. And now I see this person as being psychologically abused. Also, he said it looked like a textbook case of psychological abuse from her Twitter, which doesn't make any sense because is she doing the abusing? Like, how do you see? Anyway, he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Don't answer.
My stomach is growling. I'll be right back. I have to go get something to eat real quick.
You're right. Go for it.
It won't stop growling. I'm like, oh my God. I'll be right back. Go get food.
I don't remember the exact timeline, but a day or so later, I respond. Keanu had told me what was going on.
Didn't he just say Keanu rang again and she was talking about, like, I swear to God, he just said that he talked to Keanu on the phone. Now he's saying he responded a day or two later. It's very confusing.
Everything else. And then over the course of the next week or two, whatever, wherever we are now, Keanu and I had been in contact. And in the course of that time, Gino had come in contact. What I can say is, and now I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything that Keanu didn't say. And I'm not going to say anything that people don't ask.
See, I told you guys, his RFK is spot on.
So he's brought up Keanu and Gino, and that's where I'm going to leave Aaron for there. So he says he's not going to say anything that they didn't say. He did say that they apologized to him. I don't know that they've necessarily said that, but hey, that's fine. Whatever. But then Kiki, this is the big thing. You ladies are here. And again, I wasn't bringing you here to respond to Kiki. It's more, let's just listen to what she had to say. And let's just critique it. Where's my Keanu file? There it is. So let's go to Kiki talking to April.
You know Toe, right? I have been in contact with April, dearest April, his ex-wife, quite a lot. And again, I am ride or die friend of hers. I adore her, and I always will. I am in no way speaking poorly on her at all. But I think that the situation that she's in is probably not good. And because, yes, I've spoken with her at length, and I'm not going to ever tell you exactly what she has said.
Nobody wants to see those mosquito bites, Keanu.
But I'm just glad to talk to her. That's all. That's all. But the gentleman and his wife that she is living next door to.
So here's my first problem. Jackie, I think you brought it up. Why are you saying where April's living? Why tell the internet when there's all these people that are going after April? Why say where she's living? Now, to be fair, she didn't actually say who she's living next door to.
And I really don't know them. It would be one Nick Rada.
Okay, so she did say
yeah,
living next door to. Jackie, I think you were the one of the first I heard bring that up. The fact that, Nick went out of his way on this little piggy to not say where April's living.
Right.
He said, I don't want people to know where she's living.
Right.
Yeah, thoughts on Keanu just going bang, like this is where she's living.
Yeah, I know, like, later on she said that people already knew or something that she was living there, but we actually didn't, because after they had, I guess, put the house, like, everyone saw that they had put that house up for sale, it wasn't, I guess, for sure known where April was staying. I know that she had put pictures up on Twitter and people were like, I don't know, doing the internet thing and like looking at what the backsplash looks like to see if it was comparable to the what did you call it, the girlfriend grotto or whatever. But it wasn't really confirmed until she said it. So
Exactly. Robbie, you haven't seen really any of Keanu. What are your thoughts from watching some of Keanu this week?
First off, her eyes are the crazy eyes. If you can see all the way the whites all the way around somebody's eyes, that is always a sign that they're probably insane. And second off, the way her voice kind of the thing, it reminds me of Kamala in a lot of annoying ways. Just the way she drags on her sentences. And I didn't know she was married to Gino because I'm not really part of this world. But I just got to say that one photo of her and Gino at the wedding is just an iconic. It should go down in history. Gino literally looks like a walking corpse in that, and I can't get over it. I saw it a couple days ago, and it's every time I think of it, I laugh.
Very good.
That's about it.
A little bit left for this clip.
Right. Who I have always not had very kind words to say about, but
Did you call him untoward? Because you've called my friend Haley evil on multiple occasions, but Nick, she's just not had very nice things to say about. It's very weird when she gets challenged. She's been very vicious against Lemmi because Lemmi doesn't take her shit. And Haley, you
define
obviously...
vicious. First of all, define vicious, because spooky and Cracker Barrel to me aren't very vicious.
No, what I mean by vicious is
sweet.
The intent that you can see in her. And there's some other clips a bit later on where it really shows that you can see it in her face, you can see it in her body language, that you have got to her and you affect her like on an emotional level. So
I didn't even try.
Yeah.
Just FYI, I didn't even try.
I know you didn't. But she is very fixated on you and wants to do the thing where, oh, what's her name? I've forgotten her name. You know who the fuck she is. But Haley, are you taken aback when you're just giving some commentary on a situation and then you get called evil?
Yeah, man. I mean, there's more to it than that. What's funny about it, I did watch the majority of it, and she was talking about Kino Casino calling women bitches over and over, but she works herself up and then calls the whole panel bitches, myself and then Jackie and Lemmi, when, before that, she loves Jackie because Jackie's thinks outside of the box and tries to put herself in her shoes and stuff like that. And I'm sure Lemmi and I have done that too. We moved past that and aren't playing devil's advocate. I don't think any of us hate her. I don't think any of us care enough about her to hate her, but it's anyone that's critical of her and calls her out on anything, she automatically, that's the enemy. We're hateful people. But most of her texts on us are ad hominems. She wants to talk about the way, my accent or the way that we look or whatever, but she will never challenge what we're saying. So to me, that's very telling.
It is very, very telling.
I'm, for if somebody's in love or what have you, I try and, bite my tongue. It takes a lot for somebody to make me kind of see where the toe is coming from. Do you understand? Do you understand? If you know, you know.
So does that mean that Nick Rada is such a shitty person that April deserved to be headbutted by Aaron? Like,
right.
What has happened here? What has changed? The reason Keanu got away from Aaron was the fact that April confirmed the headbutting and the squeezing and all of that. And now, all of a sudden, because Nick Rada's a douchebag, you're forgiving Aaron? Jackie, thoughts on that?
Yeah, I had brought that up too. It's just it's odd that she decided to step away from Aaron because she's from her words is that she had talked to April and confirmed things for her, so she decided to step away. Now, I know that she said that she's not like totally cool with Aaron or whatever, but I mean, I don't know. I think two things can be true at once, and the two things that are true at once are both guys are awful.
Yes.
So, I mean, I would just say, why don't you just step away from both?
Yeah, what I find interesting though is the acceptance. Like we all just accept that, like April is just this worthless, useless woman that's just following whatever's going on. Like, are
Yeah.
you insulting your friend by saying that she's trapped in a situation like
That's
she's a
what I
big
keep
girl?
saying. It makes April, the way that it's being talked about, look pathetic.
Hmm.
And ever since the beginning of all this, anytime people would talk about April, it was weird that they were talking about her like she was like some infantile child or something, and like couldn't do anything for herself. Like she was just like so young and naive and almost like a teenager, that they had to sit there and protect her, and she couldn't make her own decisions. Everything was happening to her, and she had no responsibility and no part in it. And so I just thought it was very strange that from the beginning, that's kind of like how people were talking about her. Almost like how they talk about Hunter Biden, how Hunter Biden is talked about like he's a little child when he's like 52.
Yeah, and
it's weird. It's weird.
And it's like we all say, like Ricada and Aaron can both be shitty people, and
Right.
April can be a victim of abuse and also a shitty dumb bitch. You know what I mean? Like all those things can be can coexist.
Right, but what changed to where Kiki is now apologetic or at least on good terms with Aaron? What changed? Because
Exactly, yeah.
And why now?
It's very weird. Nick's behavior shouldn't change how you feel about how April was treated by Aaron. But
right.
Think he has his shit together. Also, you're living in the house that is for sale on his property. She's a kind soul. Okay. April, Imholte, kind soul. Much like me. But sometimes you need a little bit of tough love.
Is the tough love reiterating the address? Just in case you missed it, it's the one that's for sale. You know, everyone's seen that one for sale. That's where April's living. But I'm a kind soul. I just need to give out some tough love. So you're a dummy, Kiki. You're an absolute dummy. And
I was just gonna say I'm a kind soul while making content based off my so-called friends' downfall. Like,
thank you.
How? Yeah.
She couldn't wait to run to the internet and go, I
Exactly.
spoke to April.
Yeah.
So after that, so that's just sort of setting up where I was at. Then you guys criticized it. Haley, Jackie, and Lemmy. You all got together on Pretty Antisocial. I was tuning in live that day. I don't often get to do that, but I jumped in the chat. It was a very good episode, and Kiki wasn't happy about that. And now I like to, when I'm pulling clips, I like to see how a show starts, and I just roll from the start. And so we don't necessarily have a lot of clips here that necessarily digs at you girls. Kiki sucks, and this kind of shows it. So this is the opening of the show.
Hello, everyone. Which is no one. Because you can hear me. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Can you feel me? I'm sure you can. I'm a night owl.
The baby voice, fucking infuriating.
Yes.
Like just doing little voices because you've got no personality and nothing to say. It's very irritating.
Yes, it is.
And what's more Kiki than a late night pop-up stream, right? To comment on some mean old... Okay, that's rude. All right. I like these women that do this program. If you saw the thumbnail, you know what I'm talking about. Actually, I think they're really good at what they do, but the one in the hat is just a spooky, mean video game character with a bad attitude or something. Yeah, she's just very untoward. But yeah, so That's
like the sweetest thing anybody's ever said about me.
Not
Do
bad.
you know what I love about her insults there? She was just in that empty head of hers, bouncing around, was just like, she wears a hat. She was mean to me. She played video
You're
games that time.
ugly.
Yeah. So she's a video game character. Like, she's very, we're going to get to Gino in a little bit, but very much taken a bit from Gino here. What the fuck are you talking about, Kiki? This is the first minute and a half of her show. She's talking in riddles about these two ladies. Oh, they're old lady. Oh, no, that's mean. You're not giving any context of what you're talking about. You just realize, you just saw Pretty Antisocial talking shit about you and went, I've got to go online and respond to this. But you're not giving anyone any context. It's atrocious.
So what's funny though too about the episode that we did on Thursday, like we didn't plan it, and literally an hour before we went on, I DM'd Lemmi and I was like, hey, do you want to come on? It wasn't something that we were just like, ooh, let's go after her, blah blah. No, just like, hey, you have any thoughts? You want to come on? Yeah, sure. So it wasn't, it was like organically happened.
Yeah.
So
no, and I think like one of the great things about Pretty Antisocial, like a lot of people have said, is it's nice to get the female perspective, because you've got some women being fucked with here, and like it's some weird situations for women. So it is nice to hear the perspective of the ladies, and I think a lot of people tuned into that to get that perspective. I thought it was a great move that you did that. And yeah, I enjoyed the show, and look, it's brought some more content. So this is just picking up pretty much where she left off. She rambles a little bit about where Gino is, but we pick back up to a rambling opening.
I thought I would regale you with my thoughts on a program of women, and I support women. So I'm supporting them in a sense. That
Supporting women, gross.
Comments on I guess just things that they've found on the internet, and I would just like to, the one with the I'm just gonna play it, and I'm gonna watch along with you. And
again, what are you talking about? It's all disjointed sentences. Like, we know what she's talking about because we know she's talking about you. But Robbie, if you had no context to this, you would be lost, right?
I would be punching my, like, whatever I was watching, like, get to the goddamn point. I would have no idea.
And I have not seen it all, but I will we'll go through it together. It's the Pretty Antisocial podcast.
Yay, we got there.
What's the timestamp before she mentioned that? I'm curious, by the way.
Yeah, because I think we're about 3.5 minutes in.
Oh my god. That's worse than when Aaron, when he was just randomly introducing somebody, one of the first clips we ever had, and he's like, "This is our special guest," and he rambled for like 4 minutes before he actually said who the special guest was that he had on the phone.
Well, do you know why she does this? She called me emotional, and I was just sort of upset for, like, generally for women who think they have female friends to see her do this. This is her being emotional. She can't think it through. She hasn't had any kind of logical thought process with this, and she's speaking from a place of emotion. That's why she's all over the place. She's giving you bits and pieces.
We're getting to that. I think it's at the end of this clip, Haley. We're getting to that.
Yes, or show or program. It's a live stream done by two women that I think they have great takes on other people's lives at times.
Just not mine. Got it.
Yeah. And other times I think, I don't know, if I were just like reporting on the news of people that you're just covering, right? And you had no idea what was going on, and you were just reporting on the people that you're watching, or like famous people, right? like, do you see Walter Cronkite or get overly emotional about someone? Probably not. Something to consider.
So there it is, accusing you guys of getting overly emotional about it. But 100%, this is her being emotional about it. But congratulations, ladies. Compared to Walter Cronkite, she's very impressed with your journalistic abilities. So
that tells me a lot about her, though. We're not a news show. If she thinks that's what she's looking at, that's even worse.
Yeah.
And if you are a news show, not a popular one in terms of news, news stations, there's not, you guys do great viewership wise, but I think if a news station was, only getting sort of 300 live viewers, they'd be a little bit upset. So maybe they don't want Dabbleverse news necessarily. But yeah, she thinks she's news, I guess, is the point after that bombed. But she thinks she's news for some reason. And a little bit like Gino, who we're going to get to. And wait, did I just remove Robbie? Or did you remove yourself, Robbie?
His Wi-Fi is cutting out, is what he said. And he'll be right back.
Because I just removed the video at the same time, so maybe I clicked the wrong thing. Gino's the same. Like, Gino was at Compound Media, thinks he's a fucking big deal. And these people thinking, like, Aaron was the same way, thinking he was on the home screen of all these YouTube channels because he was so popular, not understanding that it's just the algorithm. They're going to suggest videos about yourself, most likely. Lemmy's gone too. Oh, it's just us, ladies. So that was, talking about getting emotional. Now we're going to move on to where she's going to complain a little bit about criticism.
So we'll shit on her a little bit too. Cool. Yes. Everybody's up in arms basically about my pop-up birthday stream.
Everyone is up in arms. Now, I mentioned earlier Gino, her similarities to Gino in terms of like not being able to finish a story, going off in different tangents and not making any sense. Well, this little clip here, I think, will give you a little bit of insight into someone else that she might have been influenced by.
Dream from yesterday. And I don't care if you are. I'm glad you are.
By the way, I love she goes from baby voice to punching a dart. Great move, Keanu.
I'm glad you are. Because you don't know my experience. And I'm allowed to talk about my fucking life. Mm-hmm.
Doesn't every emotional baby that gets criticized say, I'm allowed to talk about my life? Nobody said you're not allowed to talk about your life, but we're allowed to watch it and go, you're a dummy, you know?
Well, this is like a stream of consciousness pop-up stream.
Yes.
It's like how you see it in April's tweets. She just goes on live and has this like stream of consciousness stream.
Well, and not only
it's
that,
another reason why it's all over the place.
Yep. But that's just it. We weren't responding to her experience. We were responding to the publicly, her sharing private information and obviously too much that was supposed to be confidential on a public platform. Sure, she can talk about whatever she wants. But when you're putting private information out publicly and people respond to it, why are you surprised?
And it's not about her that she was talking about. It was about somebody else that she had said is her friend.
Yeah.
So
that's the big
and
thing.
who's in this like big ordeal. So of course people are going to say something about it. It's not about you. You weren't talking about you. You were talking about somebody else.
What say you, Robbie?
I'm still trying to figure out my Wi-Fi. Just keep going. This is it's the sound's cutting in and out, and then the Wi-Fi, it says the entire screen's buffering. I've lost connection, and then it comes back. I'm trying to restart the router, so just go on.
Well, you're coming through clean and smooth, so that's
yeah, I know. That's wonderful. I'm making out every fifth word of you guys, but I'm glad I'm coming through.
All right, so yeah, listen to the rest of this. I feel like there is so much of an Aaron Imholte style with the way she's addressing this.
We'll get into it. But apparently, I've some people liked it. Some people thought, "Oh, dare you?"
See that there? Isn't that Aaron Imholte when he talks about the haters and he does that voice?
He does do that.
Geeky's gone straight into that. Like it's almost like Gino and Aaron are father figures.
Some people thought I spilled too much tea. Which, whatever. I don't give a fuck. At some point.
That right there, and I got the perfect pause. I wish Lemmi was here. This is what I was talking about, body language and how it's visceral towards Lemmi. And she's been vicious towards Lemmi in her own way. Look at that glitch in her face. We'll just go back a couple of seconds. But watch her. She does the cute little voice, and then it's this evil death stare. Look at her.
Whoa. She's like trying to shake it off.
She like glitched and went, all right, I'm back.
I was wondering if that was my Wi-Fi for a second, but no, that's legit. Like, yeah, that's not great.
There's a visceral hatred for Lemmi and probably you, Haley, as well. Jackie, you got away with it because you thought that Keanu was trying to help April by telling the internet where she lives and all that.
Yes, because I could see from when we first talked to her months ago and how we had talked about, I don't remember. Oh God. Like, cause she was talking about April and stuff and being on Aaron's show and everything after everything just happened, and just watching her there when we had her on our show and just seeing her clips of her birthday stream. I was just like, oh, she really does think that she's doing the right thing for her friend. But no, not going that extra step, not going to that extra step into thinking, oh, how will this affect my friend? Because, through this, she has talked about how Nick is a cult leader, how he's abusive, this type of thing. So you would think maybe I shouldn't say anything to the public, because what if it gets back to the abuser of my friend? How would that affect my friend if the abuser hears it?
That, and not only that, but as soon as you talk to April, you go running back to the previous abuser and start telling him. Like it's terrible. It's a terrible look. So no, you're 100% spot on. I think there's a little bit left in this clip.
Spilling the tea, maybe not in such a radical way. Maybe is for the betterment of others. Right. If you.
Yeah, so that's.
I'm sorry. You got pulling teeth. How far? Like how long until she actually gets to the clip?
Oh yeah, good point.
I'm sorry.
Well, this was at this point, I don't know, it was probably about 6 minutes into the show. Yeah, just going back to what you said, actually, you managed to get to lower your IQ enough to figure out what her thought process was. Like you got in her head and she appreciated that. She was like, yeah, Jackie gets it. I was like, no, Jackie gets your dumb brain thought process. She doesn't agree with it. She doesn't agree with that way of going about it, but that's what you thought was the right thing to do. But it was dumb.
Used to be young and naive. I can still be naive, so I can understand. I get it.
Yeah. No, I know what you were doing. Is that all of my Keanu clips? I think it is. Yes, that's my Keanu clips. So we're done with Keanu. We're going to move on to Gino. I enjoy Gino these days. He ruined this little piggy a few weeks back, and it made me say, fuck you, Gino. You suck. I'm going after you now. But do you guys want to... You got any closing thoughts? I'll start with you, Jackie. Closing thoughts on the Keanu, April, all of that situation, because this Gino stuff is not related to any of this at all.
On as much as we talk about all this stuff and how it's wild and crazy and everything, I really do want the best for everybody, but that's why we call out a lot of stuff. Like, I don't hate anybody, but I don't particularly have to agree with everything that they do.
That's fair. That's fair. Haley, thoughts?
Well, just to add on to her point, I think what we mainly do is call out the hypocritical things that we're hearing and seeing. You know, when you're trying to gauge not so much truth, but what it is you're looking at, you take in information, and when the information doesn't match or the actions don't match the actions from yesterday, I think it's important to point that out. And it's just our observations of what we're seeing. Same thing. We don't hate anybody. We're not trying to pick fights. If that were the case, we would have gone way harder on her when we had her on our show. You know, it wasn't necessarily pointed. It was a reaction to what we were hearing more than anything. And I think in this situation, you can't say you're rooting for April while also putting all her business out there and sharing things that she confided in you with, basically doxing her, I guess, too, and then calling her friend, and then getting upset when people are like, whoa, you know. So we're just commenting on what we see. And if that's a problem, then maybe she, you know, some of these, I'll say her specifically, should do some self-reflection.
Yeah, and it's the mistake that all quote unquote locals make, is not knowing how to handle the situation and like sort of lashing out back rather than just, you know, take it in stride. Look, sometimes criticism is very accurate, and sometimes it's just people being dicks, you know. And like, I get it. Like the Husey thing, when I was on with Steel Toe and Husey, a lot of people put emotions on me that I didn't have. You know what I mean? Like, I just went in there to go, hey, I'm just going to try and ask questions and see what happens. Never expected him to stick around for 30 odd minutes. I thought he'd be gone within 5 minutes, you know? So it was just, yeah, I didn't care, but like there was a certain group of people that was like, I was standing up against domestic violence or whatever, like putting these things on me that were never my thought process at all. It was just, this could be fun. Let's see what happens. So yeah. Lemmy's back. Welcome back, Lemmi. Are you all good?
Yeah, okay, listen, I live on a little goat farm.
Oh,
and
nice.
My landlady just dropped by and was like, hey, have you seen anything weird happening in the goat pen? I was like, no. Why? She said 2 of the old ladies out there are pregnant and there's no male goat in there.
Whoa, now.
What?
What's Granny been up to?
Yeah.
Oh, that's insane. I love it.
Maybe they're like those frogs that can like change their gender if they're in a group of all one gender.
We speculated deer.
Aliens?
Whoa.
Maybe. I don't know.
My mind's always on aliens.
I like aliens. I think that's better.
After watching one episode of that documentary and learning that half my state believes that goat mutilations are happening left and right because of aliens, it's it's just I know it's random, but
who knows?
I had no idea. I'm watching a Netflix documentary because The Killing Time, and they go, we go to Eastern Oregon where cow mutilations are happening everywhere. And apparently it's like 2 weird experiences over the last 20 years, and they make it sound like there's just aliens everywhere. My state's weird. That's just a random tangent.
But we're not going to dox you. Lemmi, you were gone for that bit. I was actually disappointed because I'm sure you would have had some great comments for Kiki. But I'm moving on to Gino, and it's not related to what we've been talking about. So everyone's just sort of summarizing. Do you have any closing thoughts on the Kiki April situation and what's going on this week?
Well, I think what it all boils down to is that 3 women that don't necessarily or inherently like April have her back more than somebody who pretends to be her dearest fucking friend.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Great point. All right, let's move on to Robbie. Do you want? Yeah, Robbie, you go. Sorry.
It's shocking how naive some people like. I don't think she realized the Keanu that she was doxing April. I just think so many people in society are so naive at how easy it is to find out where people live if you just give them the tiniest shred of like evidence. So like even it's just a PSA to everyone. It's not hard to find those things. You just need a little bit of proof or a little hint.
Here's the thing, though. She went the extra step and said that April has to wait until Kayla leaves the house in order to go over. Like, that was something no one, like, even if we did assume that she was living next door, that was an extra piece of information that, you know, nobody knew until she said it. And there was the whole thing about Nick missing drug tests. Like, she did more than just, like, you know, confirm that April was in that house. So it's like,
right.
But she doesn't say, she doesn't talk about any of that. She glosses right over it like it never happened and zooms in on this one thing like, oh, I thought everybody knew. Yeah, but we didn't know everything else you said.
Yeah. I'm going to start this clip. I do need to take a quick pee break, but I'll start the clip. This is, as I said before, I like going to the start of people's shows and just see how they start it. And Gino always starts it like a champion.
Reports are coming in that Frankie has killed hundreds of thousands of raccoons and squirrels.
I will tell you why it was so delayed, smartass. I will tell you why.
It's bold.
Because
it's a bold prediction.
Russell Wilson back to pass, little dink dunk.
And your squirrel fucking killing
little
friend
dink dunk to
from
Russell
Canada.
Wilson. Because I'm still learning Rumble, but I will tell you what you were just watching was indeed on the Rumble. Let me make sure you guys can hear me, can feel me, can see me, can do all that shit. Looks good. Looks good. Fantastic.
So what an amazing start.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought my audio usually sounds bad. Holy shit, Gino.
So plays a clip to start, doesn't stop the clip, just starts talking over the clip, completely overmodulated. He always seems to start his show. He has this silent intro video, and I did clip some of it, but I was like, I'm not going to play it. But it's a silent intro video that I guess he can add like 2 pictures and 2 GIFs to it. And it's on repeat for like 3.5 minutes, the same pictures, just doof, doof. And then he goes into an old episode and then he'll just pop in randomly for no reason. But as you can hear, Gino's struggling with audio. Now, look, we all have our problems from time to time, don't we? We have our technical issues. So look, I get it.
Episode where he was slurping up the green tea.
Yes, that was pretty disgusting. But you know, as you heard, he was having audio issues, so let's watch him try and figure it out.
Make sure you guys can hear me, can feel me, can see me, can do all that shit. Looks good. Looks good. Fantastic. Hey, because for some reason, not for some reason, Rumble's odd, and the live stream ended, and it wasn't ready. I don't know why. But thank God I caught it last minute. Now people will be notated. Why does the microphone sound like shit? Thank you for pointing that out. Let me see. Probably need to take that out.
This is the audiobook version of the Saint Anger album.
Yeah. That's very cool. Yes. But I love one of my favorite things about Gino, not being able to stay focused. He looks at the chat. He reacts to things in the chat, but you don't know what he's reacting to. He's just saying, yeah, you're right on, man, blah, blah, blah. And, like, he's all over the place, leaning back and forth, moving around. Like, can't you be ready for your show and just start? But no, he's all over.
Now, let me make sure I'm on the right microphone. Pause that. Is that better? No. Because what I was doing was, and tell me if this is good now, I'll make sure everything's hooked in properly, because Thursdays I take this lovely microphone. No, the Folgers can is what I drink my green tea out of.
See there, he's reacting to a chat. Nobody saw that chat. He's just responding to somebody. What context does anyone have? This is insanity.
But I will say that on Thursdays I take this lovely microphone and I take it to a little place called Offside New York.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares about where you take the mic on a Thursday. Plug it in, check your settings before you start the fucking show. How hard is it?
And then I broadcast with the boys. It says we're good. Let me know it's good. I did echo. There you go. It should be good now. Let me know.
Echo cancellation. That'll fix your overmodulation. Yeah.
I think the audio issue actually stems from the fucking layer of cat hair on his microphone.
Right? It's gross. Kiki's is like that too, though. Hers is even worse.
I played a clip, I think a week ago or 2 weeks ago, Lemmy. Someone in the chat pointed out the cat hair and he sort of wiped at the microphone. And then here we are a week later. The cat hair's still there. Like, take it off and wash it. You can wash it. You can wash those covers. It's fine.
Or just take it off. Just take it off, man.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
No, it's good now. I'm just hearing overmodulating from Bearded Dude Barbecue. Is it better now?
You didn't do anything.
Nothing changed.
Yeah, the gain was all the way up. Gain was all the way fucking up. Better, guys? Test 1, 2, test.
Oh, that sounds better.
I love that I have this.
Yeah.
But either your gain is too hot. No, the mic is not blown. The mic is not blown. Like a coffee can. I wonder, I must be doing something wrong. Hold on.
It's fixed. Your gain is too high.
I wonder what I
What are you
did.
doing?
Better? How about that? That should probably be better. Good now? Much better. Johnny Payton 8. Welcome back, stranger. It's good to have you here. Leave it alone. Good now. Thank you. Good Mo. There's nothing like a good. I don't have this. There's nothing like a good Mo. There's nothing like a good Mo or a confused young man. Hey, Carlos Camejo. Oh, hold on. Let me check. That's probably my guy. This is either YouTube or the comedy seller. Go for Gino. Hey, what's up?
So he's stuck in the 90s. Go for Gino. Look at that phone. But yeah, let's just answer a phone in the middle of the show. Great call.
All good. Don't fuck with it. Thank you so much. And by the way, let me say this about your lovely family. All good. Don't fuck with it, Joey. You nailed it. He laughed. I'm hanging up because he laughed. I love Joey Dago. What a day to be alive.
Was that for real?
What a day to be alive. Happy Sunday.
That's a great question. Oh.
I'll tell you.
Because who has a landline? And who has people ring the landline?
Thing. I looked for a cord and I didn't see one, but maybe it was super clear.
No, I think there was. I think there was a cord. We'll just scroll back. Hang on.
That's the first thing I looked at. There was one. I saw
yeah,
it.
there is a cord. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a cord for the receiver, but do y'all see one going into the wall?
I did see one.
That's a good point.
I don't see one running to anything. I mean, maybe so, but that's the cord to the receiver.
No, you're right. It never stood out.
I don't know.
It never stood out. It might have been a bit.
What a day to be alive. Happy Sunday. I'll tell you, I am enjoying myself so much that I didn't even realize for some reason the 4:00 game, even though it's in Tennessee, Chargers are 4:00. I assumed they'd be 1:00. I assumed we would do both.
All right, that's the end of that. So he fixed his audio. Well done, Gino. So my final clip of the day, and it is a long one. Again, we may not get through it all. Are you guys all right for time at the moment? Does anyone need to leave?
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm
Everyone's
okay.
good? All right. This is a 7-minute clip. Sometimes I just don't know when to stop these clips because I just keep seeing stuff that's ridiculous and insane. But this is Gino with Bill Schulz. This is the show where Gino said that he'd been talking with Aaron and patched things up with Aaron. Don't have any clips of that. Again, it's just the start of the show. It's Kiki's birthday. Let's see how they kick it off.
But if your life is great, why are you fucking one of 42? Hold on, let me double check the number. Why are you one of 52? 52 people watching me.
Hey, everybody!
Make sure that's chat.
I'm gonna be
People
honest.
love trolling.
I
hope to God.
so I says. By the way, ladies and gentlemen,
What
welcome.
was this?
Well, I don't even know, but it was made by Misery Clips. It was made sometime after my Sunday show. Happy with slide in a little bit, buddy. I even tried to make it further back so you.
So again, he starts with the clip, talking over the clip, still playing. Has not welcomed anyone. It's just these two just randomly talking to each other. There's no thought process over a show. Oh my God, Rover's here. 20 gifted memberships.
Nice.
Thank you, Rover.
Nice.
Absolute legend.
So
Very
was
much
that just
appreciate it.
played on normal speed? It wasn't like 1 point.
Nope. This is all normal speed. Now, these two, perfect example of two guys that don't really want to listen or like have a conversation. It's just whatever's in my head, I'm going to say it.
Welcome to Whiskey Wednesday, everyone. Kiki's birthday edition.
Happy birthday.
Let's give her a little baby shot.
18 years young.
Oh, they grow up so fast. Treasure these
she's
times.
finally legal, you horrible predator.
Treasure these times. Bill brought her roses, and we did the classic joke.
And I had the woman.
So Gino's going to try and set this joke up for the next few minutes. But these two can't stay on track. But Gino's not going to let the bit die.
The shop pick them for me because I don't know how to pick them.
In homage to the roses, me and Bill will play a classic joke. We'll do the classic bit. Oh, my two favorite gals. Come here, shot.
I'm a dude.
Shot. Okay. Shot.
I'm already a little drunk.
55-year-old man passing around shots on a live stream.
Why is it still Halloween on their TV?
He may explain that because Gino does love to point to his TV and explain what's going on because he's a distracted moron. But yes, they're all going to do shots like grown adults on a live stream.
Good. Happy birthday, Kiki. Give me a
happy birthday.
Shendon to the good guys once again.
Oh boy!
Once again, here fighting the good fight on a Whiskey Wednesday. Here with Bill Schulz in studio, no less.
By studio, he means in studio apartment.
Studio.
In studio. Well, I mean, what else are you gonna do? Like, look, there with the skeleton fireplace.
Sometimes, I like it.
Sometimes we crank the jazz, but we can't because YouTube will probably give me a strike for that.
So yes, being the moron he is, he always has to point back to his TV and explain what's going on there. So well done bringing that up, Haley.
Sorry about that.
No, that's a good point. He loves to put a distraction behind him. I don't understand that podcasts that put TV screens behind them. I think it's a distraction away from what you're doing. But anyway.
Fake birthday for
Jazz
fake Kiki.
allowed.
You said it, Shawnee. Shout out to fucking Tanktastic who became a new member. He's allowed to chat in the chat feed. We're here. Cheers, Tosca. Thank you so much. So if you're wondering what I was watching, so
I wasn't.
Right.
You did. You asked me.
No, I didn't.
You did.
No.
We forgot to do the classic.
Not accurate.
We forgot to do the classic joke in homage to the vase.
Oh yeah, give me the joke.
Okay.
All right.
So the guy comes. I will be the gentleman.
This is how long it took him to say it the first time around.
You will be
Go
the
ahead.
gentleman that comes home with the roses, and I will play the white.
Here I
and
am
you will nail
with the
white.
roses.
Oh, and you say, "Honey, I got you roses."
Honey, I got you roses.
Oh, great. Does this mean I have to lie in bed flat on my back all night with my legs straight in the air?
Vase something
You
punchline.
say, don't we have a vase? I gave you the funny line. It's like old in hot water. I say, are you crazy? I say.
So he went back to it. He couldn't let that bit die. And I'll give credit to Bill Schulz there of going, I'm gonna kill this bit. Fuck you. I'm not gonna give the punchline. Fuck you for going back to this. This is not worth it. It's really gonna ramp up now and get incredibly annoying. So at any time if you ladies want to leave, these two guys are fucking annoying.
Set you up to succeed with that.
Can I go?
No, you just got here.
He doesn't even want to be there.
Yeah. Yeah,
Just
I think
think-
that's why he tried to kill the bit. Sorry, go Robbie.
At one point, he was at the top of the world on the greatest TV show known to man, Red. At least personally, Red Eye back in the day with Grey Gutfeld, and now he's doing. I can't judge because he probably gets much better ratings than us. But Gino, like, is this his prime appearance now for Howard Schultz? Or is this just
Bill
a cherry?
Schultz.
What?
This is
Bill Schultz, whatever. You know what I mean. He's this
Yeah,
guy
I
that used to
don't-
be on Red Eye.
I don't think he gets views, to be honest.
But he will never be the repulsive. He's the good guy. So
I don't like.
I love when Gino reads a chat. Gino just reads it until he's seen enough, but doesn't give any context to the audience. Like I genuinely hate that because I'm a listener. Like even if you're a YouTube show, I'll put my phone in my pocket and I'll listen. So if you bring a chat up and read half of it, now I've got to go, fuck, pull my phone out, open it up, rewind back, and read the chat to get the full fucking context of it. Very infuriating.
Yeah, I don't like I don't like the haircut.
Why don't you like the haircut, buddy?
Because a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
It's not me. I'm supposed to look homeless. This looks like respectable, and also like vaguely Anthony Michael Hall.
So, ladies, would you think about starting your show with some good haircut talk? Haley, you've got some lovely looking hair there. I know you've been playing with it a little bit. When did you last get a haircut? Do you want to fill us in? Do they give it some, some extra volume? What happened with your last haircut? No, nothing.
I think she's
exactly.
Fucked. Yeah.
Maybe this isn't a
like in
Wi-Fi issue.
Hey,
I said maybe this is a StreamYard issue, not a just me
Dude.
with the Wi-Fi.
Oh,
It
it's her
did it to us
Wi-Fi
on
again.
BYB the other night. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Sorry. I had to switch networks, but hopefully I'm back.
Well, I don't feel so bad now, so there's that.
Sorry. Well, when you said it earlier, I was like, dang, hope mine doesn't do it.
I know she looked frozen for a second. I was like, uh-oh.
All right, I'll try the bit again. Lemmy, what is your hair care products? What was your last haircut like?
Oh shit. My last haircut, my best friend came over to my house and was like, the ends of your hair look really dead. So she cut like 2 inches off my hair. And the last haircut before that was 6 years before that.
Wow. You really are a dirty bitch.
Yeah, I am a dirty bitch.
What's that dirty?
I mean, I'm sure you wash it. but,
I can't remember the last time I got a legit haircut. The roses mean that Bill is betting he'll live longer than Gino.
Look like you straighten that. I bet it'd be really
Keanu
long.
has straightened my hair before.
I bet it's really long.
Didn't you do that once, baby? You straighten the hair?
Did it look weird?
It was so gay.
Yeah.
It was
I
odd.
believe that.
So let's have someone off mic talk, and then we'll both talk over it, so nobody knows what the fuck is going on in anywhere at all. Does this infuriate anyone else or just me?
Yeah, man. It's like they're just having conversations and that's it. They just like decide to stream it out to everyone. Same thing with Keanu. Like it's just this self-importance. Like this is my world and you're just passing through it. Who cares if it makes any sense? Or it's like it's not a show. None of it's a show.
I gotta point that out. I've been wondering, is it like a hairline issue for him or? Okay.
Yeah, but he makes it look worse with the bandana, because that makes it look.
I mean,
like...
he's not Baker Mayfield. Like very few people can pull off that headband look, and he is not one of them.
But his hairline is actually further down from where that headband ends, so he makes it look like his hairline is way back. I've just embraced it. I just shaved my head,
Well, I was going to say, if you're going to do stuff like that, they might as well just put up cameras all up in their house and do like a reality TV show,
Big Brother or whatever,
and have it running 24/7.
No, this whole podcast, to me, this whole podcast feels like when that really annoying guy with a bunch of people at his house hops into the Discord and is like super rude about everything, and like everybody is in the background talking and shit. You're like, God, I wish you would leave.
That takes me back to when Keanu came on BYB, and that was the first time where you guys had it out. Well, you just swatted it away. But Keanu came in and she was in a house on her phone, and there's all these people yelling from another room or whatever. And you're like, this sucks, Keanu. Why are you coming on a show where there's just all this noise in the background?
Like this? A little bit? Yeah.
So you have hair that can be straightened. That was lovely.
No.
Not Eugene.
Yeah, I gotta have you more on.
I cannot picture you with straight hair.
It didn't work.
It doesn't. It's but sometimes I'll have straight hair. Not sometimes, but on rare occasions I will.
Hold on.
On rare occasions, what I will do is I will jump out of the shower. I used to take those every day. I will jump out of the shower and I will rush off to somewhere to be, like the studio. And since it's raining or cold, usually cold, I'll just throw something over my head like a hoodie or a hat, and then my hair just dries straight, and it looks insane.
Just amazing content. explaining.
We were all worried about it.
Having a shower and then putting on a hoodie to go to the
I've never
studio.
seen you with straight hair,
Maybe
and
I'll
I've
do that
known you
next
for
week.
quite literally 20 years.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I've apologized repeatedly. I really have.
I've never seen you with straight hair.
Just noticed the Bob Levy screensaver. See that? You get it? Because it's a skeleton. Well done, Derek. So this video we were showing. So Sunday, like, I honest to God, Keanu, as the wife is the witness, I don't even watch that shit anymore. I don't even watch it. The Dabbleverse. I don't.
Okay.
I don't. I will. I don't even. Baby, am I wrong? I'm realizing this. I love Carl. Who are these podcasts? I don't
Get to the fucking point. Like it's always got to be a branch off. Baby, like you can vouch for me on this. Just explain what you want to explain.
I don't even watch Carl WATP anymore. I don't. And I love Carl.
I almost like they should have a podcast together. They should just do it together because it seems like every time one is doing an individual one, the other one comes in. So they should just do it together and tell their stories together. Honestly, it might be more entertaining if they're together talking.
Yeah, they should
instead
have
of having one
arguments.
person off screen
Yeah.
chiming in.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. I agree.
I'm so jealous of you.
Yeah.
I'm so jealous of you. Actually,
Here's what
that's not true because we know Carl personally. We love him and his wife. Fucking, they're the best. But go on.
Here.
So the dummy just realized, oh wait, I was shitting on WATP. No, I better backtrack that comment. You're a moron.
Here's the sad. No, you're probably better than me because here's what I was listening on the way over. I was
about
listening
three people in the world that
I
would
was-
say
I
that.
was
You're
listening
one of the,
to-
You're probably better than me. We're still not sure, but go on. Yeah.
They can't let each other speak. Now he just said, "Now go on."
I was.
Oh,
listening
by the way,
while I was on.
Less than a second later, he jumps up and interrupts again.
It's so ADD. It's
Anthony Cumia lost money for 2 years to pay Gino Visconti.
Can I just point something out real quick?
Yeah.
If you're going to make fun of me, don't make it so funny that I laugh at it too. Just quick.
Robbie, what's
If
your
you're gonna-
cholesterol? Bring it back up.
It's not bad, which is shocking, but that's
I
not
was
the point.
just
It's like if you're
criticizing
going
for
to make
not
me
reading comments.
what?
I was just criticizing them for not reading.
Yeah,
comments.
well, that's a good point.
You bring it
yeah.
up on screen, didn't let me read it. Bring it back up.
Well, I figured you could see it, but
Yeah, but oh my god, what did I just say? Anyway, Robbie, what's your cholesterol level? Got to be higher than Bitcoin right now. Very good comment. All right, we're nearly done, I think, with this.
I'll go over here because I'm a man of people
How good
like
is this
yourself.
lighting, by the way?
I was listening to a White Sox podcast about the new manager. That's what I was listening to. Venerable.
Baby.
And the whole time I'm
Baby
listening, I'm
Tank.
like, he's what we need. He is what we need. Yeah, that's what I was listening to.
For Bill, serious question. Do you have any leftover cigs from the wedding basket?
I smoked all my Camel Crushes that night, and I love them. Yeah.
Tank, get us a gig
Okay.
in Florida and LA.
Oh, and what was I saying to you before we started this majestic
So there's 3 people having 3 different conversations in this room right now, and it's supposed to be a show.
podcast?
I'm not sure.
I find it weirdly cute when I see Keanu's done cigarettes with a little bit of lipstick on them. It's a weird turn on. It's a weird turn on.
They are. Well, it takes you back to a simpler time.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, am I allowed to speak out of school? Tanktastic, not about Tank, but he said when he got to the place, there were 4 empty cigarette boxes. Bill's like, I'm using a couple of these on that cigarette bowl. Did you not say something to that effect?
Yeah, I believe so.
There
I'm
you
sure.
go.
That sounds like me.
But that's what they were. Honest to God, the cigarettes were there
It
for
was a
you.
great
The
idea.
cigarettes were there for
It was
you.
an awesome idea.
And
I criticize women. These guys are worse than women with just like going off on their own little conversations. Like, you know, no disrespect to you ladies because you're very good at it, of doing a show and allowing each person to talk. These guys seriously are so stunted in some way they can't focus, whether it is ADD, whatever. I'm done with this clip now.
It's like they were sitting at the bar one night and talking and over each other and stuff. They're like, you know what? This should be a show.
Yeah.
They're like, why does anybody watch this?
And these guys, again, used to be on Compound Media. Again, Anthony Cumia lost money for 2 years paying these people, but they used to be in there in Compound Media. Like, it doesn't surprise me that Compound Media failed. Gino sucks.
What was that show like on Compound? What did they talk about on Compound Media?
I never watched it.
Nor did I. I don't know.
Yeah.
I did. I watched Compound Media for a little while.
Yeah, did you watch In Hot Water with Gino?
I did. I actually watched specifically In Hot Water, and I
Wow,
watched
all right.
Anthony's show after that. And it was funny, but there were days that I would look forward to more because Gino would have guests and stuff on. He would have like porn stars and stuff on, old comedians and stuff. It was great. And it looked like a really professional type show. But the best days were Tuesdays because he had Jim Stansel on. And they had their own little bits, and it was fucking hilarious. Oh my God. Frankie would pop on all the time, every episode. They'd have a little bit for Frankie. In Hot Water on Compound Media was great. I loved it.
All right, fair
I was
enough.
a fan of Gino.
Do you?
I
Think
used to
he's trying
host Compound
recreate
Media
that?
watch parties in my
really?
Discord. Maybe he's trying to recreate that.
Now you
Well, 'cause
said
I
I was a
wrote-
fan of Gino.
I was.
Yeah.
Sorry,
But
Jackie.
I wrote a note to
does that
myself.
mean you're not?
No, I'm not.
All right. Sorry, Jackie. Go.
Sorry. No, I was going to say, because when you're talking about the beginning, like how he doesn't say like, hey, hello, or whatever. I don't know why I remember this. I was watching something about like comedy and things like that. And people were saying that what kills a show when you start like a stand-up comedy routine is going in and saying, hey, how's everybody doing tonight? So instead of doing that, go right into your show. So I was like, maybe that's why he's not like, hey, everybody, how are you? Because he's a comic, right?
Yeah, allegedly. Look, it's not a bad point that you're making, but I mean, stand-up comedy is completely different to
right
a podcast and a show. It just there's no direction at all. It is literally, let's just turn on the mics and see what happens. And look, we did that here at this show for a while, where we're sort of a little bit lost and not knowing where to go next and what we're going to do. And look, this show for the past few months has been more prepared than it has ever been, but it's because I realized, hey, people were into something, and the more I prepared and the more I came with stuff, the more people enjoyed it. Like, if you're just going to go in with no focus, no topic, you've got to be like Nick Mullen from Cumtown or something to really be able to pull that off. But yeah,
Or
that's
have a
my
coherent stream of consciousness. Like that's
Yes.
like shameless plug or whatever. I don't go into any one of my morning streams with a fucking plan. All I do is talk to the chat and fucking spit out whatever the fuck's going on in my brain. Some people can relate, some people can't. We'll talk about it. You know what I mean? At least be able to communicate.
But that's different than
Articulate
having
it.
like a co-host that's talking, where you guys are
Yeah.
like competing and there's just like a random conversation. That's totally different. Like you're just interacting with the people that are there. That's to me, that's a totally different vibe than something that's supposed to be put on like a show and it's this weird conversation. And who knows how much they drank before they turn the cameras on, but it's clear that they care about themselves and that's it in that little bubble. But I feel like and I don't know a lot about Gino. I've never knew about him really until this whole realm, but it's like he's relying on what fame he did have from Compound Media to drag him through, whatever these podcasts are going to be. So he doesn't feel like he has to put any effort in. His fame, I guess, is supposed to get him through.
No, you're absolutely right. Because the only people he ever has on his show are the people from Compound Media, like Garrett and Steve and Bill Schulz.
Right.
Exactly. Apologies to Shit Show. I missed this one earlier. You were doing great, Jackie.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shit Show, for the $1.99. We appreciate it. Robbie, your takeaways from Gino and Bill Schulz.
I think I said it, but also I think somebody in the chat said that the only reason Bill was there was because he deals his cocaine, and that would make sense.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, as
boy.
long as there's not guns and children as well, Gino's all right with it. It's if there's cocaine, guns, and children, that's when Gino and Kiki freak out. Well, I've had a great time. I won't speak
Yeah,
for
definitely.
everybody, but I've had a great time. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. First of all, Lemmi, let's go to you. Promote anything that you're doing.
You guys know where to find me. It's just my name. But if you guys could go subscribe to Corndiff, WGNN. It's on Tuesdays and Thursdays and sometimes Sundays. So go subscribe, Corndiff. Just look that up on the YouTube dealio and subscribe.
And what does WGNN stand for again, Lemmi?
We got no name.
Yes, very good. Corndiff's a good dude. Go definitely check out Corndiff. Who wants to take the pretty antisocial plugs?
Jackie does. She's good at it.
I suck at it. All right. Well, you can find us on YouTube at Pretty Antisocial Pod. Yes, Pretty Antisocial Pod. Find us there. We go live on Wednesdays at 11 a.m. and then put your notifications on because we've been doing some pop-up streams and everything and have some kind of random videos out every now and then. And with some of the videos, actually, if you become a member, you get to see them first before anybody else does. So go do that. And then our Twitter, I don't even remember. If you can go find us on Twitter or X, whatever. Yeah. And it's Pretty Antipod on X. You can find us there. And we just launched like a little merch shop with some cool things in there. So go peruse.
I saw the wine mums.
Yeah.
We had to.
Yeah, that's great.
Thank you
The
to
wine
Gummy
is
for making that.
Yeah, Gummy Chainsaw gave us that one.
The wine is WHINE, which I think is very good. So definitely go check out the merch. They're also on Supertip, supertip.gg/pretty. So definitely hit them up on Supertip when they're live. Hit them with some Aaron Imholte voices and all that. It's always fun to hear. Thank you very much, ladies. We appreciate you joining us. Always love your insight. Thank you, Lemmi. And Haley, people have been talking about your accent. I think it's the cutest accent around.
Thank you. Why do I can't help it, and I don't know what to do about it. Everybody's either insulted by it or they like it, but more people don't like it than do. So thank you. I like your accent too.
I think it's fine. And even if I did, like, I can't criticize anyone's voice. So
Yeah, you're struggling over there.
I'm not going to come on like Kiki and do baby voices in this mid-Atlantic whatever. This is me. Take it or leave it, I guess. But thank you. I appreciate the compliment.
Robbie.
I was actually brainstorming new usernames for us because ours is awful right now. It's a USA of AUS Pod on X, and then mine is Mariner Robbie on X as well.
Go let him know that you. I don't know. I couldn't think of something. Anyway, thank you, Robbie. For me, obviously, earlier on tonight, tonight, my time, morning, Eastern time, I was on Eckle Pineapple's YouTube. Oh, Eckle said to say hello to you, lovely ladies, as well.
Hey, Eckle. I love Eckle.
Eckle Pineapple's YouTube channel. So it's Eckle Pineapple. Put a 3 where the last E should be. We do a show called What's Your Randall? A look back on the Ricky Gervais show with Carl Pilkington and Steve Merchant. From the XFM days all the way through the podcast, we enjoy doing that show. So please go check it out and give Eckle some subs. He deserves it. He puts in a lot of good work and he supports everybody. So support Eckle. From our perspective, obviously we do our Sunday morning streams, but we are doing a Thanksgiving night stream. We're going to watch some NFL football and shoot the shit for like 3.5 hours.
My element.
Yes. So come check us out that day. It won't be a show. This is not a show. It's not a show. It's a hang. But yeah, we thought for something different, do a Thanksgiving stream watching the football. So check that out on the, what's Thanksgiving? The 28th? Is that this year? I think it is. So check us out there. Otherwise, on X, I am at that sussy guy and just imagine that Aussie guy and put an S where the A should be. We'll catch you next time on United States of Australia.